ما لم يخرقها. Abu Ubaidah radiallahu anhu reports, I have heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, fasting is a shield for a man as long as he does not tear, as long as he does not destroy that protection. Abu Ubaidah radiallahu anhu reports, I have heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, fasting is a shield for a man as long as he does not tear or destroy that protection. So we were talking about the commentary. 6 things are mentioned through which a person destroys or he lowers the value of his fast. Who remembers? We only covered the first 2. Who remembers them? Backbiting and lying. अच्छा, ठीक है. और fighting. No, that's not one of them. Although that kind of does come, but not exactly as such. Acha, okay. So the first one is protecting the eyes. One should protect his eyes from those things which he is not supposed to look at. So as we mentioned, sometimes those things might be halal, and sometimes those things might not be halal. So obviously from the haram things, a person should guard his eyes. Now from those things which might take his attention away from Allah, he should also guard his eyes from that, so as to be able to maintain a greater connection with Allah. Second was guarding the tongue against anything which is problematic, whether it be lies, unnecessary talk, backbiting, arguments, swearing, or as Khadija said, fighting. So no fighting with Baji, Bhai, Saad Bhai, Ammi, किसी से के साथ लड़ना नहीं है, ठीक है जी. अच्छा खदीजा, आप बाद में पूछिए, ठीक है. So now going on to the third thing. Thirdly, one should avoid listening to anything makruh. So one thing is speaking, using the tongue. The other thing is even listening to anything makruh, anything which is problematic. We should not be listening to such things. It is not permissible to say or listen to anything which should not be said. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that in backbiting, both the backbiter, the one speaking, and the listener are equal in sin. So someone else might be talking, or did you see Brother Muhammad is like this and like that, or did you see Sister Aisha is like this and like that, and they will be talking about their faults. Say, well, I'm not talking, I was just listening. But even the ears are being used in the wrong way, so it is problematic, and both are at fault. So whatever it is a person might be listening to, all sorts of things, any sins of the ears should be avoided.
What if like you're doing something else, but then it's happening in the same room?
You also have the responsibility of enjoining good and forbidding evil. So if you see someone talking, doing some backbiting, then honestly, today we should make it a point to just remind them that, look, we're fasting to protect our good deeds. We're fasting, to gain taqwa, and you guys are backbiting. If you can't correct this person's situation, because sometimes we can correct someone's, we can bring some meaningful change. You tell me that, student X is doing this and that wrong. He fools around his namaz, in his salat. So is it backbiting if you're telling me? No, because I can do something about it, right? So if you're telling someone who can do something about it, or who can bring some sort of a change, there's scope to talk to them, because the ultimate objective is not to put that person down, but it's just this is one of the places where we have been permitted to tell someone's faults so that we can bring a change. But if you can't, you're saying, look, you guys are talking about a person, but you can't change their life. You have no impact on them. What are you guys talking about? Are you guys going to change them? If you're going to, then find out some strategy. If not, then protect your own good deeds. Don't, even if you're not going to go in the defense of that person, which is ideally the best case scenario, to say, no, but I've seen this person doing this good and that good. You speak good about them behind their back. When someone's speaking bad about them, you speak good about them behind their back. But at least you say that, we should, if you're not going to speak good about them, then do not say anything about them. So guard your own good deeds. So that's what we should do if we hear someone else doing backbiting. Speak good about that person who's being backbitten, and then just request them that, look, guard your own good deeds. Look out for your own interests. Not about that person. Look out for your own interests. And don't talk about them. Does it make sense? Do you do so many good deeds only to give it to that person? You spend your days and nights sacrificing hardship, hours in tahajjud and hours reading Quran, 3, 4, 5 paras a day, only to talk bad about someone for half an hour, and you're giving them the full reward of your 5 paras of Quran that you're reading. It doesn't make sense. You're struggling. Keep it for yourself. So that was concerning our ears. And fourthly, the rest of the body should be kept away from sin and evil. Neither should the hands touch it, nor the feet made to walk towards it. Special care should be taken, especially at the time of iftar. No such thing should enter the mouth about which there is any doubt as to its being haram or halal. When a person fasts and at iftar time breaks fast with haram food, he becomes just like a sick person who takes medicine to cure himself of the sickness, but also adds poison which destroys him. So this person who breaks his fast with haram food is just like a sick person who takes medicine to cure himself of the sickness, but also adds poison which ends up destroying him. Gee, iftar, the person who eats halal food in iftar, gee. If someone eats haram food, not halal food, yeah, the food which Allah Ta'ala doesn't want us to eat, then Allah Ta'ala is telling us to eat halal food. Ji? So if someone eats haram food, then he is at the same time trying to make Allah Ta'ala happy, and at the same time he's making Allah Ta'ala angry. Ji. Because Allah Ta'ala gets angry with him. Ji. Because when Allah Ta'ala gets angry, then that is a person's destruction. समझ गए? No, he will not. He will not have any such thing. Well, not necessarily. Khadija thought that he would explode or something. And now Khadija is having a good laugh in the corner there. अच्छा, बहुत अच्छी बात खदीजा, बहुत अच्छी बात. Very good. So always fun with Khadija. अच्छा अच्छा. عن أبي ذر رضي الله عنه قال قلت يا رسول الله أوصني قال إذا عملت سيئة فاتبعها حسنة تمحها. قلت يا رسول الله من الحسنات لا إله إلا الله قال هي أفضل الحسنات. رواه أحمد. عن أبي ذر رضي الله عنه قال قلت يا رسول الله أوصني قال إذا عملت سيئة فاتبعها حسنة تمحها. قلت يا رسول الله أمن الحسنات لا إله إلا الله قال هي أفضل الحسنات. Abu Dhar Ghifari radiallahu anhu submitted, O Rasulullah, favor me with some advice. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when you happen to commit a sin, hasten to do a virtue and atonement, so that the ill effect of the sin may be washed away. Abu Dhar radiallahu anhu then further inquired, O Rasulullah, is recitation of La ilaha illallah also a virtue? It is the best of all virtues, was the reply of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Hazrat Abu Dhar Ghifari radiallahu anhu submitted, O Rasulullah, favor me with some advice. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you happen to commit a sin, hasten to do a virtue and atonement, so that the ill effect of the sin may be washed away. Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu then further inquired, O Rasulullah, is recitation of La ilaha illallah also a virtue? It is the best of all virtues, was the reply of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A minor sin, no doubt, is washed away by a virtuous deed, but a major sin is wiped off as a rule through tawbah, or through the mercy of Almighty Allah, as explained earlier in this book. In either case, the wiped out sin is neither written in the account of the deeds nor mentioned anywhere else. So it is said in one hadith that when a man does tawbah, he repents to Allah. Almighty Allah makes the scribing angels forget that sin. It is forgotten even by the hands and feet of the sinner, and even by the piece of land where it was committed, so that there is nobody to give evidence for that sin on the day of judgment, when the hands and feet and other parts of the body of the person himself will stand witness for his good or bad deeds, as will be explained in hadith number 18 of chapter 2, part 3. एक minute. The subject matter of the above mentioned hadith is supported by many other ahadith. There are many ahadith to the effect that tawbah from a sin washes it away as if one had never committed it. Tawbah means to repent and feel ashamed of the sin that has been committed and make a firm resolution not to repeat it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to one hadith, said, "Do worship Allah only and do not ascribe any partner to Him. Be sincere in all your actions as if you are standing before Almighty Allah. Consider yourself among the dead. Remember Allah near every stone and every tree, so that there are many witnesses in your favor on the day of judgment. And if you happen to commit a sin, do some virtue immediately in atonement thereof, so that if the sin is committed in secret, the virtue should also be done in secret. And if the sin is committed openly, the virtue should also be done openly." So even saying La ilaha illallah is a good deed through which we should, if we happen to make a mistake, and we will make mistakes, so whenever we do, then we should follow it up with a good deed, and this is just one of the good deeds that we can do. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam even expressed it as it is the best of all virtues. Ji.
Like, you know how you say that if you say La ilaha illallah 100 times, then you'll go to Jannah.
Inshallah.
Mm, but if you like do a lot of bad deeds, then will you still go?
If you say La ilaha illallah, you will go to Jannah. If you do a lot of bad deeds, then will you still go? Well, it depends how you died. And just because a person goes to Jannah doesn't mean that he goes in right away. If he had done a lot of bad and he died as a Muslim, he died as a believer, then inshallah he will go to Jannah, but Allah might want to punish him for all the bad that he did, or some bad that he did. So then if he goes to Jahannam, then it will hurt for as long as the person stays in Jahannam. Ji? When a person puts his hand in the oven or he touches the element of the oven and hand gets burnt, it hurts, right? So what about staying there for a year, 100 years? It will hurt a lot, no? So that's why we don't even want to go to Jahannam even for 1 second. Samajh gaye. So inshallah we will go to Jannah if we die with Iman. May Allah give us all death with Iman. When Allah decides to take us, may Allah give us death with Iman. But may Allah also give us tawfiq to make tawbah for all the mistakes that we make, and give us tawfiq to avoid making mistakes in the first place. Ji? Not just that we make tawbah, but try to avoid making mistakes. Try avoid doing things which are problematic. ठीक है? जी Khadija. What does witness mean? You know, like you say that someone says Khadija did something bad. Khadija ate the last timbit. And then I say, did anyone see Khadija eating the last timbit? And then Yusuf says, I saw Khadija. She went and she climbed up on the triangle shelf and she pulled the box down and then she looked around. Is anyone looking? And then she ate it like a chipmunk. And so Yusuf, he saw everything, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, I saw that Khadija was eating the last timbit. So Yusuf is a witness, the one who saw you, and the one who will tell Abati that Khadija ate the last timbit. That is a witness. समझ गए?
Mm-hmm. So, Buddy,
जी.
Yusuf usually putting cream on it.
Ji, so Yusuf will also be a witness, but on the day of judgment, even my hand will be a witness, and the hand will say, Allah Ta'ala, Khadija used to put cream on her Abati's arm. Ya Allah, give Khadija Jannat. ठीक है?
Mm-hmm.
अच्छा, ठीक है. So inshallah, we will conclude at that. Inshallah, we'll see you all tomorrow. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallah bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana